What is going on to the AMC stock family? In today's video, we are going to be talking about Citadel in regards to margin call, margin debt, how all of their margin is at an all-time high right now, will they go bankrupt, and how this relates to AMC stock. Now in today's video, we are going to start off this video by talking about what other people are talking about for Citadel, because I know that some people believe that if an AMC investor or an AMC member in a Reddit thread decides to talk about Citadel, then it is immediately going to have some sort of negative bias, right? And so some people are saying that whatever an AMC member is saying cannot be true just because they have already some negative bias. However, this is coming from someone else, so let's go ahead and read now what they are talking about Citadel. So this article starts off by saying that some are believing that Citadel, Robinhood's largest generator of payment for order flow, improperly influenced Robinhood's trading halt determination to benefit an investment in a short-selling hedge fund. So by all accounts, Melvin Capital was financially crushed by that so-called Reddit rebellion and GameStop. And guys, we already know about all this, but again, this is going to be related to AMC. This is going to be related to the present day and how margin is at an all-time high. And will the hedge fund Citadel decide to go bankrupt in the future because of their margin? Okay, don't worry, we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But before that, we need to continue reading. So this article says that indeed, when the dust started to settle in February of 2021, Melvin Capital was viewed as one of the primary losers in the GameStop short squeeze, reportedly suffering losses of approximately 53% in January alone of 2021. This is absolutely insane. And again, for those guys that are wondering, why is Citadel so important in today's video, and why is it so important just in general surrounding the AMC news? This is why, because losses of approximately 53% in January of 2021 or whatever date, that is no joke. You cannot lose half of your hedge fund. Otherwise, your hedge fund is near 50% deciding to go bankrupt. And in this case, it is actually less because we are not even at 50%, we are at 53%. And I believe right now Citadel has a lot of bets against AMC stock, and you guys already know what that translates into. Basically, Citadel has a lot of selling positions on AMC stock. Now, nonetheless, let's continue reading to see what this article has to say. So those losses necessitated an emergency $2.75 billion investment from Citadel and another hedge fund. I did not even know about this. These losses necessitated, so it was necessary to get an emergency $2.75 billion. We must highlight that because I did not know about that. And let me know in the comment section, AMC stock family, did you guys know that Citadel provided an emergency $2.75 billion to Melvin Capital? Let me know in the comment section below because I certainly did not. And so if we continue on reading, this is absolutely insane. So this article continues to say that which led to or reinforced the perception later in the same week that Citadel had used its PFOF leverage to encourage Robinhood to institute a trading halt as a further bailout measure. This is absolutely insane. The entirety of this is already a mess in it of itself. And so a trading halt, first of all, this may be synonymous to a trading ban. Now that some of the AMC investors do not like it when others talk about AMC and how it was halted and how that could actually be synonymous for a ban. And so no one will tell you that AMC may have temporarily been banned, right? Because no one wants to hear their favorite stock and say that it has ever gotten banned before. But it is unfortunate that the AMC investors that were invested in AMC stock ever since January of 2021, ever since February, and even before that, during 2020, had to go through a time where no one could buy more of their favorite stock. Imagine how many people wanted to buy into AMC stock when it was trading below $15 a share, but Robinhood, which is one of the most popular platforms for a lot of retail traders, did not let them. And it is unfortunate that AMC even had to go through a trading halt because which other equity decided to have a trading halt, right? We know GameStop did, but what other equity decided to have one other than the penny stocks? But those stocks have trading halts because they believe that there's some sort of manipulation, and penny stocks are much easier to manipulate, and so manipulation can actually become very dangerous, especially when a lot of people are invested in them. And so AMC stock, were the Robinhood, Citadel, Melvin Capital, were they really all believing that AMC at that time was going to be negatively affecting a lot of traders? I'm not sure, but that should be the decision of the traders, right? That's called supply and demand. That is called the order flow. And so whatever the AMC investors want to do, whatever the day traders want to do, whatever the supply and demand is, usually in the markets, that is created by the individual investors and not by Robinhood, not by Melvin Capital, and not by Citadel. Now let's continue reading. It says that Citadel has denied these allegations, saying that it was not involved or responsible for any retail broker's decision to stop trading in any way. It is unclear whether that statement applies to all Citadel entities, though Citadel issued its own statement that it had not instructed or otherwise caused any brokerage firms to stop, suspend, or limit trading or otherwise refuse to do business. Both statements are plausible statements made by Robinhood in explaining its trading halt. For example, apparently as or shortly before he sought a 3.4 billion capital infusion of his own, Robinhood's chief executive officer stated that there was no liquidity problem. And so, really quick, before we continue reading, no liquidity problem. Are you kidding me? During those days that AMC was halted, there were a lot of liquidity problems. No one could even buy the stock in the first place. But again, that was just a side note. Let's continue reading. On account of clear housing margin calls, that Robinhood draws down its credit lines all the time. Are you kidding me again? So, right here, on account of clear housing margin calls, we're going to make this in red so that Robinhood draws down its credit lines all the time. So apparently this was normal for Robinhood. And so basically having a lot of margin calls, that was apparently normal for Robinhood. And so if we continue reading, because I'm not sure what the rest of this paragraph is trying to say or conclude. And so this paragraph continues by saying, and that the firm's trading halts were being done proactively. Yet Robinhood's CEO suggested during a time of the interview that its trading halts were motivated by the substantial deposits due to clear housing on accounts of market volatility and its customers' concentrated positions, as well as unspecified impacts on its net capital position. And now we understand what Robinhood is really trying to say, and now we understand what was even going on. So apparently the Robinhood CEO said that the trading halts were motivated by the deposits. So we are going to highlight the deposits right here because apparently there were many deposits. And then on top of that, there was also because of the market volatility. And so obviously you guys already understand from the previous paragraph that Melvin Capital lost a lot of money from this market volatility itself. If the market volatility caused a lot of problems for Melvin Capital, what is going to happen? That is where Citadel comes in, and Citadel acts as the emergency fund. And so $2.75 billion, I'm going to reiterate that one more time because the deposits in the market volatility that really impacted Melvin Capital because obviously they went to Citadel. And I'm definitely going to be talking more about market volatility in a later video just because right now we have an insane support level for AMC, and I'm actually very excited for what this upcoming week is going to bring for AMC stock because right now we do see a slight bit of volume increasing slowly by slowly but surely. And so with market volatility, is this going to start slowly but surely start increasing the amount of fear that a lot of these new hedge funds decide to have? For example, instead of maybe Melvin Capital, which is already almost 50% bankrupt because 53% of their losses, they already had that. So they're basically halfway into bankruptcy. So who is going to be the next hedge fund? It is probably going to be Citadel. Are they going to be the ones to start having a lot of these margin calls? Because we know that they have, first of all, a lot of debt. And second of all, we know that they have a lot of selling positions on AMC. And so how do we know that Citadel has a lot of margin? So right over here, we have the margin statistics. And so because the month of July just ended, we have new updated data that's basically allowing us to understand what is going on with how much money both investors, retail investors, and how much money the hedge funds are spending, right, for their margin accounts. And so January of 2021, we understand that we have a trend going from roughly $800 million and then going all the way to $844 million. So roughly a $44 million increase in the amount of margin. That is not what usually typically happens. And so we know this because in the previous years, for example, if we decide to go all the way down to, let's say, the 2016 year, we just slightly but surely increased the margin levels. We did not increase a 44 million within half the year. And understand that, guys, half the year. So in one year, we have going from roughly $500 million to almost $530 million, but that was in a span of one full year, 12 months, and then going all the way back up. We have going from 6 months, in other words, half a year, we basically got the same result, 800 million to 844 million in just, again, half a year. I know I'm reiterating this, but at this point, it's just insane how much margin a lot of people have in their accounts. And so what do you guys think Citadel is going to do? They probably have the same trend, right? They probably have a lot of margin too, and they're probably doubling down on their position. In all honesty, that is just my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, but with Citadel, and I'm going to start talking about the CEO of Citadel, Ken Griffin, because what he is actually talking about is that he has a lot of conviction in his positions, and so that is why, in his opinion, he is able to be extremely successful. And so when he understands that the price of AMC stock has already fell almost half, he's probably thinking that AMC will continue to fall because everyone has their own decisions to make within the AMC share price. And so in his opinion, he is probably thinking that more AMC investors are having disagreements when in reality we are actually becoming stronger and stronger as a movement because in the comment section of a lot of videos, you guys have actually been saying to just buy and hold this stock. What else does that indicate to a lot of these hedge funds? That indicates that this movement is actually becoming stronger because more people have conviction in their holdings, which before not a lot of people did. I'm not sure if you guys remember when AMC stock went from $72 to $38 a share in one day, but that's not when a lot of people had conviction. That's when a lot of the day traders were trying to take their money and leave. However, that is when it went to $38 a share, we had that true indication of who is actually invested in the stock. And what do you guys know? This stock is hovering around that same price $30 share range right now. So the true AMC believers back then in the beginning of the year, they are still here. And so Melvin Capital, Ken Griffin, the CEO of Citadel, I don't think they understand that just yet, but the margin calls, they may just be coming very soon. You guys understand that margin is at an all-time high, and margin is just basically synonymous to debt. And so basically debt is at an all-time high. And so with that being said, AMC stock family, I'll continue to make updates about AMC stock. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys next video.